Hey guys, it's great to see you. So there has been another update to CSP Preview 1.76 and today I'm going to talk you through that and to tell you what the latest update has actually got in there. As ever, just before we do that, if you are new here, do check out the rest of the channel and do click on that subscribe button if you like what you see. I'd love to have you on board and there's so much more sim racing content coming on the channel. Okay then, so in my last video on CSP I did say that 1.76 public was imminent. Apparently there's been a number of new bug fixes that LUA has been working on, and here we are on the Patreon page just to have a look at those. Typically though, LUA has also added a ton more content, and I'm going to talk about two things today. One is LUA scripts, which is going to make a significant difference in cars and tracks on Assetto Corsa with CSP, and the second one is the bottom picture you can see here, which is debug mode for racing line, and you can see how that racing line is going to work in wet races. If you then add that to the extended physics that's available on most cars in the game with CSP, then all of a sudden you can actually have a wet race with a developing dry line. That is very exciting. I know there's more development to go on this as ever with all these brand new features that are coming into Assetto Corsa, but it really does make a significant difference to the way that you might be driving in these races. Before I show you the details on how that dry racing line works in wet races, let's just take a quick look in CSP and install the latest version. This is the latest version of the preview patch here, 1.34. This is still preview 1.76. So it's a drag and drop, and as you can see, you press the green bars at the top and you're going to install over the preview version that you've got. So I've got preview 92, so I'm going to click on install there and you will see it change on the left hand screen here. It now says 0.76 preview 1.34 just here, and obviously I would always restart CSP and restart Content Manager before you actually make any changes. Just to show you where the rain effects changes are though, if I click on rain effects on the left hand side here, you've now got racing line. So what I'm going to do is activate that, and then you would also activate your wet physics as well, or the extended physics. You've also got debug mode there, and I'm going to show you how that works later on and what that does. But just for this example, I'm just going to activate that there, and let's jump straight into a race. Now that we're in the race, I've got debug mode on as well as the racing line, and you can see what's happening here. So the track is all green before the cars go over it, and then the red line develops as it becomes drier and drier. That is then going to interact with the car physics and give you different handling. It's really important to see though that even some of the cars that are going off the standard racing line are also creating some form of dry line as well. It's just not as pronounced. I'll show you here just how this works. And on this famous corner on the Spa circuit, you can see some of the cars are going just a little bit wider. If I take a little bit more of a close-up view of that, you can see they are creating just a little bit drier line. So this is really fantastic, and this is really a game changer for the way Assetto Corsa is going to run with CSP in the wet. Let's take a look then at some of the big changes in this latest preview version of CSP. So this is preview 1.34 of 1.76. So I've talked about big improvements in LUA scripts. If you look at some of the detail on what LUA has been saying, that means that you can actually now have very different car and track scripts. This means you will be able to create much more detailed scriptable events for the track or the car. So LUA gives the example, for instance, of creating some kind of speed trap where a camera flash would go off when your car goes through it. That would be then specific to that track. And of course with the cars, well, there's all sorts of different scriptable events that you can imagine, I'm sure, that you could create that would make the game even more immersive and realistic. So they are really big improvements. There are also improvements to photo mode, including motion shots. So here's a couple of shots that LUA put on Patreon site. Looks really fantastic, and I will look at putting a video together on how you actually create those, but I know you're all going to be straight away playing with all those great photo mode additions. Rain effects we've just talked about, and of course there's multiple fixes and bugs. Now a number of new configs are available for the new content, and of course there are new apps and scripts. So when you look at the change file on this new version of preview 1.34, there are over 200 improvements, and obviously these are taking on board some of the further improvements we've had across the whole of 1.76 development. I know the question on everybody's lips is going to be, when is this going to go public? I don't know, and Ilya's really just pointed to the fact that he wants to make it as stable as possible. There are so many new graphical inputs onto this 1.76 in total across all the bits of development, and even here as you look at these F1 cars going up this straight, you can see how the tyre smoke is spinning around the tyre and it's lingering on the straight. It is really very cool. So there are lots of different features on this 1.76, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be fully stable and then you can all get a full public release. As ever though, do remember that if you do want to support Ilya, it's only a few pounds per month to actually get access to this preview edition, and I know supporting the modders doing all of this fantastic work is the right thing to do. They are all keeping Assetto Corsa alive and making it the fantastic game it still is. I will put a link in the description, guys, to the Patreon page, so if you do want to support it, you can do it there. And as ever, do check out the rest of the channel. There's so much more content on there, and if you love Assetto Corsa, you're in the right place. I'll see you all very soon, guys.